Johannesburg is not only the biggest city and economic powerhouse of Gauteng, but also of the country. It is located on the edge of the gold-bearing Witwatersrand main reef, the sole reason for the birth of the city. Soon after the discovery of gold by George Harrison in 1886, diggers, prospectors, adventurers and fortune seekers flocked to an area up until then only inhabited by a few subsistence farmers. About 10 years later, with just over 100,000 people, Johannesburg was the largest settlement in Africa south of the Sahara, surpassing Cape Town, which was established 244 years earlier. Up to the 1930s, the focus was on the CBD, when white suburbs started to grow northwards and Soweto emerged as a black township in the southwest. During the beginning of the 1970s, new shopping centers such as Sandton and Rosebank, as well as the center of the new Randburg town, were established, laying a foundation for the development of a sprawling, polycentric city as we know it today. Joburg CBD is laid out in a gridiron pattern with small city blocks and narrow streets, the impact of which is still felt with everyday traffic congestion. With the rapid influx of miners and entrepreneurs, the growth of the CBD was fast-paced, dynamic, and innovative, with diverse cultural influences, features that are still prevalent in today's CBD.
Simple mining structures were soon replaced with more substantial buildings. The architecture of the early 20th century was influenced by various styles, such as Victorian, Edwardian, and Art Deco. Notable buildings from this area include the Post Office, the Rand Club, and Corner House. Towards the mid-20th century, the inner city saw further urbanization and modernization, with high-rise buildings reflecting the increasing importance of the CBD. The 1970s marked a significant period of skyscraper construction, with more than 70% of the high-rise buildings being constructed. The Hillbrow Tower and iconic buildings such as Ponty City and Carlton Centre, until recently the highest building in Africa, were built during this time. This transformed the city's skyline and solidified its status as a main urban centre. With increased political turbulence, limited significant development took place during the late 20th century. This resulted in the quality of the CBD starting to decline as businesses moved out towards the northern suburbs such as Sandton and Rosebank. With the dawn of democracy, the beginning of the 21st century saw a renewed interest in the CBD, with revitalisation efforts taking place, mainly through CIDs. Adaptive reuse projects, such as the conversion of existing office blocks into residential apartments, became increasingly common. Modern Rea Vaya, BRT stations, and upgraded public spaces with public art are obvious modern additions, adding to the rich built character and identity of the CBD. Originally fueled by the mining boom, the CBD evolved into a bustling commercial and financial hub. Residential areas encircled the CBD, supporting its function as the place of commerce. With recent conversions of commercial buildings, residential facilities have been created. Apart from formal residential opportunities, the CBD further becomes a point of first entry for many newcomers to the city, both national and international, to seek economic opportunities and a better life. The CBD was generally ill-equipped for the influx of migrants, and infrastructure was inadequate to accommodate the changing role. While the Joburg CBD still remains the bustling commercial hub it previously was, its character has changed. The types of businesses have diversified, with large upmarket retail stores supplemented with shops in micro spaces selling inexpensive goods. Informal trade on almost all sidewalks is another feature of a transformed CBD, impacting the character of the space. The demographics of the CBD have also changed with the influx of people from various backgrounds, leading to a more vibrant and cosmopolitan atmosphere. On the flip side, it does create a greater demand for amenities and services catering to a diverse population, with increased challenges putting strain on the social cohesion and effective urban management.
The boundaries of the Joburg CBD, as defined by the municipality, establish an area of about 17 square kilometers. The sheer extent of it complicates any effort of revitalization. However, the biggest complexity lies in the diversity rooted in each of the neighborhoods or precincts located within the boundaries of the CBD. Central to the hustle and bustle of the CBD is the transit precinct, the biggest intermodal transport hub in Africa. Park Station accommodates both the Gautrain and the Metro Rail. The newly constructed Johannesburg International Transport Interchange established a 50,000 square meter international long-distance and cross-border transport and shopping hub with more than 3,000 square meters of trading space, a bus terminal for cross-border buses, as well as ranking and holding space for more than 600 taxis. Just south of the railway line is the Metro Mall taxi rank. The area between this facility and the North Street taxi rank to the east is arguably the most confusing, pulsating, and diverse precinct of the CBD, with a dynamic interplay between small-scale, formal, and informal activities. A variety of shops, street vendors, and informal markets line the streets where you can find almost anything. This area is also home to people from diverse backgrounds, with a mix of cultural influences, languages, and cuisines. Dilapidated buildings, often hijacked, are scattered through the precinct. Northeast of the transit precinct is the CBD's high-density residential neighborhood, Hillbrow, with almost 100,000 people in high-rise apartment buildings crammed in an area no bigger than 1.5 square kilometers. The area is known for its diverse, cosmopolitan character, which brings about vibrancy, but with overpopulation, it also became a place of shelter and refuge for those marginalized by society. Northeast is Berea and Yeoville, with its well-known vibrant Raleigh Street. These neighborhoods have cosmopolitan characteristics and social challenges similar to Hillbrow, yet with lower rise and a finer grain of buildings. South of this lies the Doornfontein precinct, dominated by tertiary education activities, with Ponty City on its edge looking out over the sport precinct with, amongst others, the Ellis Park Stadium. Separated from Hillbrow by Constitutional Hill and northwest of the transit precinct is Braamfontein, a precinct with an interesting mix of youthful energy fueled by student housing close to Wits University, creative expression due to the presence of cultural spaces, and formal professionalism brought about by corporate offices on the northern edge of the precinct. This is also home to the municipal offices, the Johannesburg Civic Centre, a notable example of brutalist architecture, establishing a prominent landmark visible from various vantage points. The Nelson Mandela Bridge, constructed in 2003, connects Braamfontein over the large barrier zone caused by the railway line. The bridge became an icon for Johannesburg and a symbol of integration when its construction opened up to the western edge of the CBD, resulting in the Brickfields development and interventions around Newtown. East of Newtown and south of the transit precinct is the commercial core of Joburg CBD. This area is characterized by a mix of heritage buildings and modern skyscrapers, also housing F&B's Bank City integrated into the fabric of the city and Carlton Centre to the eastern side of the precinct. A mix of formal commercial and retail uses and informal activities dominating the street space creates a vibrancy typical of a CBD. In a strip towards the south of the commercial core lies the larger buildings of Anglo-American on Main Street, a refreshingly different space, amidst the sea of decay, and the headquarters of Standard Bank and Absa. Further east, on the other side of the elevated Seavright Avenue, lies Maboneng, a precinct revitalized through private initiatives. Just west of the elevated thoroughfare is a new mixed-use development that recently adapted the high-security Jewel City in an unenclosed live, work, play area. On the eastern edge of the CBD is Jeppestown, home to mainly an immigrant and transitional community, with many disused warehouses and other buildings being illegally used for residential purposes. North of Jeppestown is Troyerville, known for its dilapidated heritage houses, yet with some sense of community amongst residents on the creative art scene. On the opposite side, the western edge, are Fordsburg and Mayfair. Fordsburg still has a strong Indian community and a long history linked to Pageview and Vredendorp, where relocation of traders led to the Oriental Plaza being established. Originally, Mayfair was also mainly an Indian suburb with single houses, but it is now, to a great extent, occupied by Somali and Ethiopian immigrants.
Through a narrative describing various precincts, the diversity in character and use of the CBD is clear. A single thread is the transient nature of the population that visits, uses, but also occupies large parts of the CBD. Intrinsic to the decay is a lack of sense of community and a lack of ownership of public spaces created by impermanency. Despite revitalisation efforts and successes achieved since the early 2000s, the CBD is still struggling with urban decay, even accelerating over the last few years in some areas. This manifests in old and unreliable infrastructure due to poor maintenance, deteriorated and dirty public environments due to poorly supported and uncontrolled informal activities, appropriation of streets for taxi ranking, illicit building conversions for residential use, slumlording and building hijacking, disregard for illegal immigrants due to national policies, high levels of petty and major crime, high prevalence of homelessness, and substance abuse in plain sight. A degraded and overcrowded public environment not only leads to difficulty in the physical usage of the space by the average visitor to the CBD, but also creates a negative perception of the CBD. This is often the start of a vicious cycle where access to business becomes obstructed and unsafe, resulting in business moving out. Economic decline kicks in, continuing on a downward spiral of decay. Apart from general urban issues and poor law and by law enforcement contributing to dirty streets and high crime levels, the Joburg CBD has also been making headlines over the last year or two with various devastating disasters hitting the city. Fresh in our minds is the July 2023 explosion caused by methane gas where parts of Lillian Ngwe Street collapsed. Another traumatic event was when over 200 families were displaced and more than 70 people died in the fire of the hijacked Usindiso building in August of 2023. Another blow to the city on an investment level was when Anglo American, a major anchor in the CBD with a long-standing historical link to the space, moved out, relocating its headquarters to Rosebank. This also had ripple effects, at least on a perceptual level, supporting the idea of a declining CBD. Simple physical examples impacting directly on tourism as an economic impetus is the once clean and safe area around Chancellor House recently becoming a gathering point for individuals experiencing homelessness and substance abuse. Another alarming condition is the closure of the Top of Africa in Carlton Centre. Originally one of the stops on the Red bus route, but now another shock to the tourism industry and the CBD of Johannesburg. In the face of these challenges, the city's efforts have sometimes been seen as localized unintegrated, fragmented, and intermittent. Maybe a more nuanced focus is needed. Most of the time, interventions center around physical upgrading with improved paving and street furniture. Social problems are deemed to partially lie at the core of urban degradation. Addressing these challenges requires multifaceted and holistic approaches that go beyond the concrete physical solutions. Due to the complexity of social problems, focus is often, though systematically or even subconsciously, placed on simplified physical interventions that are unsustainable.
And this is really making it very difficult for urban management to adapt to that environment. I think that's what's important is the word adaptation. Municipal-owned entities, pick it up, Joburg Water, JRA, city parks, etc. They need to really adapt to an ever-changing environment. There's a lot of fidgeting while Rome is burning.
Joburg CBD is steeped in complexity, multiplicity, and contradiction. One has to accept that the role of the CBD has changed over time and that it does not only play a different, but also diverse and even diverting roles. Although important, efficient day-to-day management of the urban environment is of critical importance for private and successful public investment. This cannot be the only focus of the city. Embarking on public upgrading, paving, lighting, landscaping, and the likes is also not good enough anymore. Now more than ever, the city should focus on its developmental role. This role should be seated in proactively supporting the poor and vulnerable through dignity and proactively providing for the needs of communities and entrepreneurs without criminalizing the marginalized. Despite challenges, the City of Joburg Municipality is motivated to bring about change through its inner city transformation roadmap. With a rich heritage, a sense of responsibility to its space and its people, and through dedicated private and public stakeholder involvement, of which Jozi My Jozi is a great example, revitalisation of the CBD is again seen within reach of the city. An entrepreneurial and innovative approach and a survivalist spirit deeply entrenched in the place and its people through history and its modern times are critical to setting the CBD on a path of change.